So, well, I'm a biologist, so it's going to be kind of a different talk. But I'm going to take about pain, which is not a surprise, and about inhibitions, but in a different way. Well, we have already talked about the gate control theory, which I'm going to mention now. But I don't know if it happened to you when you say that you're working on pain, that people say, whoa, so you're going to find a cure of pain, so we will never feel pain again. And you're like, well, do you really want to feel pain? Because pain is good. Pain is a protection, so it's something hard, it's something bad to protect yourself. Even this inflammation you have when you have an injury is good because it keeps this area sensible, so you don't touch anything with that and it heals better. But what happens when this pain becomes chronic, becomes pathological, and apparently you don't have any more injury over it? That's what I'm going to talk about and how this pain is processed. So first, this basic in our skin, we have some receptors. Some of them are going to perceive touch, like when someone touches you or you touch something, and some of them are going to perceive pain. There are different fibers that are going to travel. So you have a touch stimuli, and then it travels to the central nervous system, spinal cord, and then to the brain, and you feel that you touch something. Well, however, when it's pain, there are other fibers that are active, and then its same information goes to the spinal cord and then to the brain, and then you feel pain. But those two guys, which we have talked about them, they're like the 60s, they were in a bar, having some drinks again, and what happens when you're in a bar having some drinks is that you just disconnect and you create the most amazing theories. And they actually did. But the thing is that those two guys were smart, because usually when that happens, you just forget about it afterwards, but they took a napkin and they wrote it down. So this theory is the one that we talk about, is the gate control theory, the gate control theory. So now I told you we have two different ways. One is for touch and one is for pain. So this goes to the brain, you feel pain. This touch goes to the brain and you feel touch. But what they say is like, actually one thing that happens when you hit with the corner of the table or something, the first reaction you have is that you actually touch, you press there, and then you relieve the pain. So it's like, well, maybe we have two ways that are going to the central nervous system, but just one information can go through. And that's what they say. We have two different railways, but at some point just one of them can go to the central station, that is going to be the brain. And for that, to modulate that, we need a gate. That is here, Mario Bros. But you need a gate, something that tells what goes to brain or not. And that's actually inhibition. Well, it's a bunch of things, but it's inhibition. So to make it a bit more complex, we have the information coming from the periphery, from their skin, and you're going to have these pain fibers that are going to go to the superficial dorsal horn, and then the touch fibers that are thick blue ones here. And then in the middle, there are connections. There are a bunch of interneurons, a bunch of connections that are quite hard to understand and that we don't know, actually. But there are excitatory and inhibitory neurons that are working hard over there, so the information that goes to the brain is actually what you need to feel. But like the title of my presentation was not inhibition, it was disinhibition. So what's disinhibition? And I'm going to give you this example. That's a party. It happens to the most of us, I guess, that we went to a party and for some reason, maybe we took too much alcohol, or maybe it was just the euphoria, the ambience, the music, but we actually lost control. So we were not inhibited at all. We did things. What happens when you're like that is that you're hyper-excitable. So any single stimuli that arises, like, well, that's the most amazing thing ever. And then you say things and you do things that you shouldn't do and that you actually regret afterwards. So now imagine that this party, instead of being in a disco in Ibiza, it's in your spinal cord, where those interneurons should be processing. So those interneurons are now in a party. So what happens is that they actually lose control. So this communication that should be that someone should be saying, hey, don't say that this is happening, but shh, be quiet, is not there anymore. So they actually mix information, and when you are actually feeling touch, just a caress or whatever, they're gonna say that something is painful, and they're gonna say to the boss that it's actually the brain. So this is actually what happens in neuropathic pain, in neuropathic pathology, is that there's an alteration of these neurons over there that they are not working fine anymore. Now, I'm gonna go more deeper. That's more to the scientific part. How does this talk? Because of course the neuron is not going, hey, be quiet, but they kind of do. So what they do, because they communicate with currents, they are gonna send a signal to introduce a negative current side. So it's gonna be just negative charges that go inside and say, okay, you be quiet, you don't excite, you don't say anything. But for this mechanism to be working, we need the protein, the transporter, that keeps these charges low in the cell, because if there are a lot inside, they don't care anymore. So it's actually protein that is called KC2, but it's just taking these charges outside and it's keeping our cells with a low charge of chloride in this case, and that this way this inhibition is going to work when one cell is going to tell the other don't say anything. However, what happens if we remove that? So these charges are not going out anymore, and actually when now we have signal to say, hey, be quiet, not say anything, this is not working anymore. And that's what happens, is actually that you don't have inhibition anymore. So you're just excitable, so any excitation that comes to you is going to excite you, so you're going to talk. They're going to talk to the brain and they're going to say things. And that's actually what happened in neuropathic pain. It has been proven in animal models. Of course, come back to the talk of Jeffrey McGill, we haven't invested humans, but actually this is a good therapeutic target for the future experiments and future studies for the treatment of pain. And actually the work with inhibition has been done, and there are some results where even the benzodiazepines that are stimulating inhibition, this part, are helpful with that, and the animal models actually an enhancement of this activity of this protein. It's also helpful with the relief in neuropathic pain, neuropathic models. Well, thank you. I think I was faster than